Super Bowl 59 is in the books, and I am coming to you from a Holiday Inn in like Birmingham, Alabama, as we road trip back to Chicago from Louisiana. So, pardon the terrible recording quality. I've got earbud mic, stock computer webcam, but the content will be good. So, Patrick Mahomes laid an egg in the Super Bowl. I mean, he was terrible. Bad sacks, interceptions that were totally unprompted and just didn't need to happen. And he let the game get away from himself in the first half. And I'm only breaking down the first half because after that, it was over. It was 24-0 at halftime. And I thought, I'll grade a few plays in the second half, see if Mahomes can build something in the third quarter. And he never did. So I don't really think it was fair to grade. I think that the vibes were bad. I think that once Kendrick Lamar got on the stage, the Chiefs' minds went elsewhere. And that's fair in a 24-0 game. The Eagles were awesome. Their defensive line was stellar. Their secondary was sticky. But Patrick Mahomes gave them opportunities to take advantage of, right? Like Patrick Mahomes turned a good pass rush that was giving some pressure into a relentless pass rush that was pressuring every snap. Patrick Mahomes took a secondary that enticed him to mess up and gave them mistakes to capitalize on. This was a really bad performance by Patrick Mahomes. And no shade against the Eagles defense, but Mahomes squarely deserves blame. Maybe you credit the Eagles defense because they stuffed the run, so the Chiefs had to put the ball in Mahomes' hands. Right? They did get constant pressure, if not true penetration, then they simply made Mahomes feel uncomfortable. And then he did the rest making mistakes. But make no mistake, this game was about Patrick Mahomes. So let's roll the film on the greatest quarterback ever putting up one of the biggest stinkers in Super Bowl history.
The Chiefs are going to start out with some really elaborate motion. Note Xavier Worthy starts in the slot. He's going to motion across and line up kind of like a fullback. And then he's going to orbit all the way back out here into a swing route. This is very similar to what the Bills ran on fourth down against the Chiefs in the conference championship 2 weeks ago. But it's all just a decoy. You see, all it's doing is trying to make Reed Blankenship bite up, vacating this void behind him. Let me show you how it works. Mahomes signals, we motion, you come in like a fullback, you run out on the swing, you got a head start, right? And Mahomes, being the trick shot artist that he is, throws a no-look pass on the slant. Now, it's an easy pass. It's 5 yards downfield. There's nobody covering Juju Smith-Schuster. Wide open, couldn't be easier, right? But the reason it's so easy is A, because of the decoy, and B, because Patrick Mahomes is looking at Xavier Worthy, the swing pass, while he throws the slant behind it. So Mahomes is using his eyes to manipulate 33, that defender, and opening up this entire area of the field. So maybe if Mahomes doesn't, if he just throws it regular, if he doesn't use the eye manipulation, it's probably still about 5 yards. But because of it, he's able to get another 6 yards after the catch. So that's a really solid play by Mahomes. It's a routine throw, but it's a plus pocket movement. He opened things up a lot. That's really smart. That's winning, the easy way with your brain. That's awesome. Here, just a routine pass. It's a screen pass. It's clear from the start that the Chiefs fear the Eagles' pass rush, and they should have. The Eagles did not blitz one time, and they pressured Mahomes on about half of his snaps. But the quick game's not going to work either because the Eagles are so good at tackling. Here on second down, this is just a drop. Right? Everything opens up exactly the way that the Chiefs designed. Kelsey kind of slow plays his route, runs a slant. There's a busted coverage. The middle linebacker is supposed to scooch over in this cover 4 shell. He doesn't. Look, it's not the best throw. It's just an okay throw. But Travis Kelsey, being an all-time tight end, needs to make that catch. Good pocket. Look, the ball's behind. The ball's behind Kelsey. It hits him in the back hip. Right? You'll see right here. It doesn't even hit his back hip. It's significantly behind. You could call that a bad throw. Because it's Travis Kelsey, I'm going to be generous to Mahomes. I'll call it routine. I saw somebody online, a Chiefs fan, saying that I'm crazy for calling that routine. It had to be very good. It's a clean pocket. It's a wide open throw over the middle of the field. And frankly, Mahomes missed it. That was, again, we're going to call it routine. That was really bad. Certainly not the all-time level we've come to expect from Mahomes. So here's third down, and Mahomes is breaking out his patented chicken with the head cut off play. Let's see what he should have done. First off, this is a Vic Fangio play. Why? Well, first of all, check out how close the cornerbacks are to the receivers. They are pressed up. They do not fear the Chiefs receivers. They're saying, let's go. Third down, we're going to make Patrick make a nice throw. When it's pressed up like that, you lean towards it's going to be man coverage, or in the Eagles' case, at least cover 4 with match principles, so everybody basically plays man, at least on the outside. Right? You got 4 spread out defensive linemen. Look how far apart those defensive ends are. The middle of the field is going to be wide open for Mahomes to run, but because it's third and long, you're not really worried about that. Now, when Mahomes looks out there, he's seeing 2 high safeties. He's seeing guys pressed up. He knows this is a cover 4 heavy team. He's probably thinking, probably cover 4, maybe 2-man. Regardless of whether or not it's cover 4 or 2-man, you're basically going to get man coverage on the outside and basically going to get half field coverage from the safeties. That's just how it practically ends up working. So Patrick Mahomes is probably thinking he wants to target this middle of the field area. That's probably going to be where he gets lucky. I've quickly diagrammed the basic route combination that the Chiefs are going to be running, and I've highlighted Travis Kelsey in red because that's where Patrick Mahomes looks first. They've got this cool little fake out wheel route from the slot. They've got a clearing route by Xavier Worthy. He's just going to run this deep over sail because it's trying to take the safeties away from Travis Kelsey's slant route. There's a curl on the backside just in case, but it's basically just a placeholder to keep the linebackers spread out. This play is largely Kelsey on the slant if it's wide, or hit the wheel route if you get somebody breaking open. The problem is that Vic Fangio disguised this beautifully. So whereas pre-snap it looks like it's going to be middle of field open and you're probably going to get Travis Kelsey wide open, he actually ends up doubled. That's because Fangio drops Cooper DeJean, he drops Reed Blankenship, down into a robber coverage. So instead of dropping back, he's actually charging forward to where Travis Kelsey is eventually running. And Cooper DeJean is doubling him, jamming him at the line as hard as he can. So you've got both of the dangerous whites on the most dangerous white. White on white crime. This has gotten a little messy, so let me clean up the pink, which again is what Patrick Mahomes thought he was seeing pre-snap. So again, instead of having soft zone coverage with the middle vacant, you've got man coverage with the middle being double teamed, both by the man covering slot corner and the strong safety charging down directly into Travis Kelsey's face. Let's clear it up and watch the film once through again. So Mahomes stays on Kelsey pretty long. He's looking to his right. Travis Kelsey's getting jammed. Cooper DeJean fights for his life. Excellent job keeping Travis Kelsey off timing with the play. Also, that outbreaking wheel route, it never materializes. Excellent job by the Eagles to chase down that receiver. Eventually, it's third down and long. Mahomes looks to his left. The curl's not there, and the running back in the flat on a release route is not going to be enough for the first down. So Mahomes does what he does best. He runs the biggest, longest, widest circle, chicken with his head cut off, and tries to make something happen. But the Eagles' defensive linemen are too athletic. Like, Patrick Mahomes is slippery, but the guy runs like a 4.8, 4.9. He's not that fast. So they're able to get home. There's not enough time for Mahomes to really find anybody open or even really get his feet set. And it's a bad throw. It hangs up in the air too long. The receiver's not very open. And what's Mahomes going to do? He's getting hit while he's throwing, right? Like, let's watch his eyes here. He thinks he's going to get a blitzer. from Zach Bond. Little does he know he's getting man coverage. So he mistimed everything, right? Here he is telling everybody, alert, alert. He thinks Zach Bond's going to blitz up the middle, 53, that middle linebacker. That is not the case. And because he mistimed that, and he thought somebody was blitzing up the middle, that should open up the middle of the field extra. That's why he spends extra time looking at Kelsey, who's running to the middle of the field. It should be the perfect play if everything Mahomes saw before the snap materialized into what actually happened. But it didn't. So Mahomes has to run around, and as you can see, he never gets his feet set. He never had a prayer of making that pass completable. It wasn't pickable. That's not fair, but it certainly was not a good throw. It's a bad throw with a plus pocket movement, and it stems from poor processing before the snap. Here, this is frustrating, and we see a lot of it from Mahomes. Clean pocket, drops back, tons of time, and on the outside at the 50-yard line, you've got Xavier Worthy, arguably the fastest man in the NFL, one-on-one with Quinyon Mitchell, and if they're even, he's leaving. And you're Patrick Mahomes. You're supposed to have a cannon for a right arm. You got tons of protection. This is blocked up perfectly. Throw that ball deep, right? And it's first down. You have the latitude to do that. You can throw it deep and it's incomplete and oh no, you live to fight another day on 2nd and 10. As you can see, as Mahomes holds on to the ball, Xavier Worthy gets open downfield. And I know there's a defensive back right next to him. But if you've got the fastest player in the NFL running away from a defensive back and they're even, then within a second, Xavier Worthy's going to be ahead. So again, right here is where they're even, right around the 50, 55-yard line, somewhere like that. Right here, Mahomes needs to uncork this thing and put it at the 20-yard line. And it's whoever can win a 30-yard race. Xavier Worthy wins every 30-yard race. You may have heard of him. He's the guy who ran the fastest 40-yard dash of all time. And as you can see, if he had put it at the 20, Xavier Worthy would have separated. Now, it's not the end of the world to get a check down, move, 2nd and short. This is fine. But when you have that much time and you have a big play opportunity and great protection against this defense, you need to go for the kill shot. And instead, Patrick Mahomes turned into a game manager. Here's where the wheels start to come off. Again, good protection and a nice pocket to step up into. It's 3rd down, and Patrick Mahomes is a little too eager to step up into that pocket. Right? Instead of stepping up into that pocket, he should just throw the ball. I don't know about you, but to me, this looks pretty damn simple. You're past the sticks, you're pretty damn open. It's a short enough throw that you can beat the linebacker with a fastball. Just throw it. Instead, Mahomes panics and he runs around, and he didn't need to do any of that in the first place, right? All of this is superfluous. This is not good pocket management. This is bad pocket management and panic. And because of it, Mahomes makes a really bad throw. That's a bad throw. It's bad pocket management. It's bad all around. And it has nothing to do with the Eagles' pressure, right? Like, this is good protection. Mahomes has tons of time. It's a quick hitter route, clean pocket, throw the ball. Instead, he decides to run around. And because he bails out of the pocket, he gets pressured of his own volition. That pressure is entirely on the quarterback, has nothing to do with the offensive line, which held up well. They did their job. Mahomes didn't do. So the Chiefs are backed up. They're down 10. They're going to come out with just some quick plays to get Mahomes in rhythm. Little routine throw, barely any different than a screen. And no, it's not going to move the ball very efficiently. Chains aren't going to be spinning down the field, but it'll get Mahomes back into rhythm and it'll make sure you don't take a safety, right? That's the idea. Again, you couldn't ask for a cleaner pocket. No, nobody's really open, but Mahomes runs himself into pressure. That being said, good release route by Kareem Hunt gets him open. We'll give him a plus movement because maybe he created the opening for Hunt, and it's a routine throw, but that's nice. Right? And then on 3rd down, Mahomes just misses. It's a bad miss. It's wide open. It's his number 1 receiver, a gigantic target, and he just dirts it. What are you doing? Like, I understand keeping the ball low to protect your tight end, but you have a 6'5", 37-year-old tight end. Don't put the ball on the ground when he's running a curl route, right? If you're going to put that ball low, put it more on his body so he can just kneel down and grab it rather than having to make some weird contorting slide from a standstill position. It's not a good throw. Fast forward a little bit. This is pretty quick pressure, right? Mahomes barely gets out of his play action, and there is a defender in his face. This is a no-fault sack. It has nothing to do with Mahomes. This is just, I believe that's Josh Sweat beating the living hell out of Jawan Taylor. It might have even been a switch protection between the right tackle and right guard, but it makes no difference. Next snap, you're supposed to hit the curl at the top of the screen. You got a clean pocket. You got two skill players. You got a running back and a tight end doubling a defensive end. So you know that's not going to hold up forever, right? Travis Kelce does an admirable job blocking Josh Sweat on this play. You got to get that curl out to the outside. Mahomes decides he wants to run, and it was a really bad decision. So that's another sack that's on Mahomes, right? You got the open curl to Xavier Worthy. Sure, it's not a ton of yards, but that's what the play gets you. Take what it gives you. You're playing the Eagles. You're blocking a defensive end with a tight end. You have to know that you've got to get that ball out quick. And then here, Patrick Mahomes is just pressing. And this is going to be the end of the game, really. I'll show you more snaps, but this is really where everything ends. Mahomes bails out of the pocket because he wants a high-low read, and he's zoning in on his receivers rather than actually looking at the defenders, right? So Cooper DeJean is out here floating, just playing the quarterback's eyes. It's monkey in the middle, and Patrick Mahomes throws a dart directly into his belly because he doesn't notice Cooper DeJean. He's not noticing things. This is rookie-level processing, right? I can't tell what. It's third and long, so you need a big play. But when Mahomes lets this ball go, he's not noticing that there are guys in the way. If maybe he used his eyes to pull Cooper DeJean towards Xavier Worthy, number one on the outside, then this might not be the worst thing. But he doesn't. He throws it right into Cooper DeJean's belly. Cooper DeJean scores a birthday touchdown. Pretty nice first interception of his career, eh? And yeah, like look, Mahomes is staring him down. Watch Cooper DeJean at the top of the screen. He can see. Watch him break right here. You can see his feet. Right, that's Cooper DeJean. And you can see him break down because Mahomes is staring at his target the entire time. And the ball was badly thrown anyway. Like, it was behind DeAndre Hopkins as it was. And it was too low. And he telegraphed where the ball was going. And he led a safety, or in this case, a slot corner, directly into the ball. That's a terrible interception. It's entirely on Mahomes. Yes, it's third down. Yes, you're down 10. If you wanted to throw that ball to Hopkins, then you have to use your eyes to open him up by faking that you're looking at Worthy. If you want Worthy, you have to use your eyes to fake that you're throwing to Hopkins. Mahomes did neither. He played straight, and he lost. Here, you're down 17. So this is where the game starts to become wonky and barely be gradable. But it's Patrick Mahomes. If he gets another touchdown, you're down 10 at halftime, you feel pretty good about yourself, right? A little bit of pressure, steps up, will give him a plus pocket movement, but he runs right into a defender. Like, you ran out. You should have stepped up, right? Or even bailed back from where you came. You're running to your left. All your receivers are to your right. You can't throw all the way across your body like that, especially on these shorter routes. And you're running into a defender against leverage. So Patrick Mahomes makes his own nightmare here. He turns a pretty decent block into a bad block by running away from his protection. That's a sack that's on Mahomes yet again. And that was the only passing attempt, or drop back attempt rather, that Patrick Mahomes got on that drive. They ran, got sacked, and punted. And on the very next play, Mahomes panics and again ignores a linebacker. And I want to really hone in on this. This is straight, basic cover two, right? This is very simple coverage. That's a very open receiver. The linebacker, Zach Bond, actually misplayed it. He got So again, pretty clean pocket. Tooney gets pushed back a little bit into Mahomes' lap, but there's plenty of room to slide and avoid any contact whatsoever. And frankly, he's not in much danger of actually being tackled. Mahomes throws the ball from this weird angle instead, though. Like, he didn't need to do all that, right? Look at how his body is contorted. He's not getting his feet under his throw because rather than taking a half step over, realizing that Tooney's getting bull rushed, he can't focus on the pocket and downfield at the same time. This is tunnel vision. This is not good. It causes Mahomes to be jostled as he throws. I said that very strangely. I pronounced every letter. But again, right here, just slide. Just take a little slide step towards the center because you know you're getting a little bit of pressure from the left. Instead, he's hit while he throws, and the ball's way behind the receiver. As you can see, the receiver is like motorcycle driver leaning to try to get back into the play. If Mahomes leads this guy, you're looking at a 20-yard gain. It's 17-0, but you're on the move. Maybe you're looking at 17-3, 17-7 entering halftime. But instead, he throws it directly to the linebacker, and on a short field, that's going to be 24-0. That's going to be game.
You can never grade a quarterback, especially their entire career, off of one game. But I think that this one Super Bowl really should open people's eyes to something that I was seeing all season and screaming from the mountaintops while everybody told me I was crying wolf. Mahomes is putting the ball in harm's way, making bad decisions. His accuracy downfield is poor. His pocket presence has become poor. And really, he's become a two-trick pony. He throws really well schemed short passes, and the Eagles took those away today or yesterday. And he runs around like a chicken with his head cut off and sneaks extra yardage that you didn't expect him to get, largely because defenders are afraid to hit him for fear of fines and penalties. In this game, the Eagles did not mind hitting him. Forget the fines. Who cares about the penalties? We're not letting that man slither for an extra 5 yards when he breaks out of the pocket. Additionally, the Eagles tackled, right? Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, Zach Bond, Reed Blankenship, and CJGJ. I mean, they were coming up, sticking dudes where they caught the ball. There was no yak to be found. So unlike against the Bills, where Patrick Mahomes has like 100, 200 yards, 150, 200 yards of yak, in this game he had like 20. And when you can't count on other people making plays for you, you have to be great yourself. And Patrick Mahomes couldn't. And he hasn't been great this entire season. He wasn't great last year. Even in the Super Bowl, the 49ers let him off the hook. He did not play a good game. You have to go back to 2022 for the last time Patrick Mahomes looked like the guy that people talk about him as, a great quarterback. And I'm not saying that Patrick Mahomes is washed or he's over the hill, but maybe the league's caught up a little bit. Maybe his focus isn't on football the way it should be. Maybe he's been reading his own press clippings. But right now, the last 2 years, Patrick Mahomes has been a slightly above average quarterback. And people are talking about him as the greatest of all time. That sounds silly. So don't blame me. I didn't do this. I'm just telling you what the film says. If you disagree with me, point to it in the film. And now that we're heading into the off season, I'm gonna need some new ideas for content. So hit me with a comment, what you'd like to see between now and the draft, between now and next season. I'm kind of out of NFL film to grind, so I guess until next time, I'll be grinding college film. Asta.